I'm going to walk you through how to lay out and construct 4.74, the shift lever. In your packet with this drawing, I have given you center lines here and here. Those weren't on the original drawings. I gave you those to make it easier for you to lay this out in your layout C. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay it out midpoint, then offset down the 1/2 inch, and then erase that center line, and then we can get started drawing the part. That just helps it center a little bit better, and it doesn't put it so close to the top of the title block, and that's just a decision I made as far as the drawing. So change your current layer to center line, go to the line command, midpoint, and now we're going to offset a 1/2 inch down, here to here. And then I'm going to erase this line so it doesn't confuse me. So now this is how I'm going to construct the part. So we're going to start with this left-hand side first. So we need to offset this center line down 1.25. So we're going to go to offset 1.25. Now, from this midpoint, this center line, we have to offset to the right before we can offset back to the left to get the center line for that slot. So you have to look at where things are based from. So we're going to go to offset. Let's put in 3.4. And then from this line, we're going to offset back 5.5. At this point, we really need to kind of clean some things up so we're not confused when we start offsetting even more center points. So let's use our grips and let's slide some things in. I'm going to leave these two for the moment because I'm going to have to offset this up again. So we're going to offset this line up the 2.75. And then from that line, I can offset up and down 1.25. Now I do need to clean some things up. So got a stray line up there. Click too quickly, so we'll get rid of that. Use your grips and let's pull these center lines in so we're not so confused with what is what. So look at where your dimensions are coming from and look at the lines that you just offset. Now that looks much more manageable. We don't have lines everywhere to confuse us. So now let's change to our object layer and we can start constructing the part. So you can see on the left hand side we have a radius of 0.75. That intersection. And we have a diameter of 0.76. So now we can use our intersections and our line command. So there is one feature. So now let's move to the right side of the drawing and place these circles. Pay attention to radius and diameter. Both of these are diameter circles. Let's go ahead and put the circles up at the top. We have a diameter and we have a radius. Now at this point, we have to think about what we can do before we put in these big curves. This large curve is tangent to this circle and this circle. So we're going to use tan radius to create that circle. This large curve, it is tangent to this 1-inch circle, but we don't have a center point to where that is. And we can't use a fillet because we don't know where this arc is. So you have to look at the part and think how you can construct this. Now on your drawing, I think I've given you the measurement, but on the original drawing, you do not have one. So you have to figure out where this 1-inch lives. How you do that? That 1-inch circle is tangent to the 1.5 diameter. So it has to touch it at a tangent point, which means from the point it touches the circle to the center point is 1 inch. So go to offset, 1 inch, and offset the circle out. Where it crosses that center line, that's the center point of your 1-inch radius circle. And you can erase that when you're finished. So now you have your 1-inch circle. So we need to place in the large arcs that are here, but we're going to use the circle command, tan radius. So when I pick tan radius, I'm going to pick the outside of this curve and then the outer right of this one. So this tells my circle to be tangent in this direction. If I pick them too close together, it's going to draw that circle in the opposite direction I want it to go. So once you pick your second tangent, it's asking for the radius, which is 6, and it creates that large circle. You can go to your trim command and trim away what you don't want. You're going to go back to tan radius, pick the lower point down here on this circle and the top side of that 1-inch circle. Your radius is 4.2 and that creates your curve. Now think about what needs to stay and what needs to go. So this part of your arc needs to go away and the outside edge of your 1-inch. So it makes that little dip of a curve. And then you can erase what you don't need. So now we need to deal with this portion. So you have to look at how this is created. You have a flat portion right here. If you just went to the fillet command and picked fillet, it would curve this too far in. So just go to your line command, pick the intersection and pull it straight down. That's what you're going to fillet to. On this side of the line, it's actually touching the curve, so you can just use a regular fillet. So go to your fillet command, right mouse click, radius, 0.38, enter, and I need to do it twice, right mouse click, multiple. So now I'm going to pick my curves And then I'm going to trim away what I don't want. When you're trimming this part, you need to make sure that you zoom in on this little curve, because look at that, you've got a little extra piece. So make sure you get rid of that. Now your part is finished. You're going to use decimal dimensions. So make sure that you go up to the annotate and then your dimension panel and open that up and pick either fraction or decimals. We are in decimals, so change to your decimal layer, your dimension layer for your decimal dimensions, and then you can start placing dimensions on your drawing. Once you have it completely dimensioned, make sure you stretch these center lines if yours are a little too close like mine are. Make sure that you have everything looking just like your part, and then you're ready to turn it in. That is 4.74, the shift lever.